Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the channel and checking out what we're doing here at Hidden Valley Homestead, where we're preparing for what's coming. So, a long overdue update. Here we go. Welcome to Hidden Valley Homestead, where my wife Olivia and I escaped the city to homestead our off-grid property in Idaho. This is our journey. All right, guys, it has been absolutely insane how much work we've been done. Sorry we've taken so long to put a video out here, but blueberries are off the hook. They are absolutely insane. We have been harvesting like crazy. Fruit trees. For those of you in the North Zone 5, our 2 cherry trees did not make it, but the peach and apple and the pear are doing well. Hey, let's have a quick talk about Zone 5 gardening. So the window for gardening is like Mayish. You got to have a hoop house or a greenhouse in order to get your starts, into. If you guys recall, a couple years ago, what precipitated my greenhouse build was we had planted everything by Mother's Day because we were late the year before and didn't hardly get any produce. And then we had 2 freezes in the middle of June. Well, this year we were totally late because we were totally busy in May with family stuff. And so our garden has exploded this year. Let's take a look at what has totally exploded in Zone 5 gardening, if you guys want to know what grows up here. So these are June berries, strawberries. They're done in June. We've already harvested them. They're growing crazy, but there's no strawberries on them. I mean, there's a couple here and there, but they're not really growing. But these blueberries, check out these blueberries. So I have 2 different varieties of blueberries. I have 5 of this variety. These came from Oregon from a blueberry farm that they were shutting down, and so they dug them all up and sold them to everybody. They are not quite ready, but they're starting to ripen. We're starting to get a few purple ones right here, and they are big, fat, juicy, delicious ones. Here's my thumb right here. You can see how big those things are. They're sweet. Let me show you this other variety that is almost done harvesting. And this variety, massive, massive blueberries. I have 5 of these plants, and they're about halfway done already. Good sized blueberries. Very delicious. So 2 different varieties. One variety started ripening about 2 weeks ago at the beginning of July. And this other variety right here, this variety is just now starting to ripen at the end of July, which is kind of cool because we can barely keep up with it. Like the raspberries. Raspberries do very, very, very well. Last year we got a couple of gallons. We've got 7 this year. We cannot keep up with the harvest. And it's only a 20-foot long row. Well, let me take that back. Let me show you this. So this row is our raspberries and blackberries. You can see the color difference. Raspberries from there to here, and then from here to there is blackberries. The blackberries are just now starting to come in. It's a thornless variety, but they're just now starting to come in, and they're just starting to turn just a little bit. The raspberries have been going strong for the last 2 weeks. We can barely keep up with them. The blackberries, once those ripen, yeah, good luck with that. The greenhouse, again, guys, absolutely necessary in Zone 5. Some of the stuff absolutely needs to have that hot, humid climate, like our tomatoes. Yeah, let's give you a quick little tour in here. The tomatoes are going crazy. We don't really have anything. We planted so late this year. The beginning of June was when we planted. But tomatillos grow crazy in Idaho, especially in a greenhouse. So there's that. We've got peppers, cilantro's coming up. Peppers are doing well. Raspberries that snuck underneath the edge is coming up into our raised bed right here. Of course, our lettuce and our green beans are absolutely going nuts. So there's that. And of course, there's my beautiful assistant. She is weeding. We're about to bury these potato plants. So once they get to about this height, you want to put a bunch of dirt on them so they start putting out more potatoes. Potatoes, of course, we're in Idaho, so they grow great. Let's see, what's next? Let me talk about the fruit trees for a second here. So guys, this was a multi piece grafted apple tree. This is our second year here, and I see one good apple. There's two in here. There's one there. There's two in here somewhere. There is another one right there. So these are coming in. These varieties are pretty good, pretty hardy. This is the third year. We planted these. Actually, we planted these 2 years ago. This is our pear tree, and I feel like it's struggling. See, all the branches are kind of leaning over. I'm not sure what's going on there. It did have a fungus we sprayed for, and my pear tree also had the same fungus. But all three of these trees took in zone 5. They were zone 5 varieties meant to survive the cold winter. These are our cherry trees. One was a black cherry and one was a Bing cherry. And both of these, I'm sorry, that's right, Rainier cherry. Both of these were zone 5 species, and they did not survive. So the black cherry survived the first year. The Rainier cherry didn't survive either year. So anyway, so guys, that's a little bit of an update on our garden here. Give you guys a heads up on what's good for zone 5 stuff. All of our fruit bushes are just absolutely off the hook. So once we get the chicken coop going and start harvesting the manure, that's going to go in the garden. The pig manure that we had when we did a pig again this year, that's going to have to sit and mellow for a whole year, just like we did last time. And that really helped the garden, but the chicken manure is really the key. So hopefully that helps you guys, give you some ideas on zone 5 growing. It's hot, it's in the 90s, and so you've got to be watering every day, twice a day. But otherwise, if you've got a good soil amendment to amend the clay, we have a lot of clay here, soil amendment really helps the garden. Okay guys, there's a quick update for you. We've been so insanely busy with gardening and getting this garden totally set up, self-sufficient, so that we can be growing our own food and raising our own meat birds with eggs right here in the chicken house. We know that things are going to be getting crazy. You guys see how the world is going, and we want to be as self-sufficient as we possibly can, so that the only thing that we're buying at the store is spices and sugar. Yeah, we have a grain mill. We're going to be buying wheat berries and grain and milling our own flour here pretty soon. The house is coming along. I got to get the siding done, but got the deck done, and we're enjoying life right here. The battery systems are working good, and solar is working great. And the days that are a little bit short on solar, we turn on the generator. But yeah. So far we are being very self-sufficient over here and preparing for what's coming. That at some point the grid is going to go down. We know that. That's why we're off grid, and that's why thousands of you are going off grid. When the power goes out, which has happened at least a half a dozen times already this year, from a tree, from the high winds, or the lightning strikes with the power company shutting the power down, or whatever, we are completely fine with our lights on and our well working, and other people have to burn lots of propane to get their generators going, or they don't have a generator and they're out of power for, I don't know, a couple hours to a couple days. So guys, thanks for watching. Look forward to this chicken coop coming up and some more content coming up. See you guys soon.